Let's start at the present day. We're currently on tour here in Spain. How's it been so far?
Yeah, it's been really good actually. It's a really nice environment. It's a really good opportunity for the new players to blend in and get to know the new players and the staff. I think the players have worked really, really hard, double sessions. I think the most important thing, they've really enjoyed it. The environment's good, they're working hard, call it serious fun. And I think so far so good. So kind of building up to the game at the weekend, and I would say that everything's on track.
And you've touched there on new signings coming in. Can you talk a little bit about recruitment and how that's been so far?
Yeah, this time of year is really quite busy. I've been on phone and on calls quite a bit. I think the ambition of the club and the direction of travel, the idea is that we want to bring in players, obviously, that are better. You know, we've released a lot of players over the summer. They were really good servants for the club and ambassadors. But we want more and better players all the time. We're striving to get better. So we're looking a little bit higher for those better players. So we're having that dialogue with loads of players. And we've got to sell our sort of long-term vision and our long-term dream where we are now. But it's quite a challenging time, because while we're going after that said very good player, so is Club X and so is Club Y. So we're presenting and trying to shine a light on the stuff that we're currently doing, and obviously what our future holds, and more importantly the ambition of the club and especially the owners.
We have such great facilities at KPC. The infrastructure around the club is in such a good place compared to a couple of years ago. Can you tell us a bit more about kind of the long-term goals, the ambitions of the club and the investment from the owners? Yeah,
I think anybody that knows women's football and knows Birmingham in particular will understand the history of this club. It's a massive football club. And certainly from the women's perspective, Birmingham has produced some of those iconic players that you see on the telly now, Karen Carney, Ellen White. I mean, this is a real hotbed of talent in Birmingham. Unfortunately, you know, lack of investment a few years ago meant the club kind of lost their way a bit, got relegated. But I must say credit to the people that have been here over time and kind of kept the ambition of the club alive, trying to survive on very little. Fast forward, new owners come in and see real potential. And their ambitions are, you know, if any knows Tom Wagner, Matt Alvarez, they want to be the best. And that's really exciting, because in order to be the best, you have to kind of, you know, shift the mindset, invest, give the athlete the best opportunity to be the best they can be. So they've imported a level of investment on the facility, which has been transformed in the last sort of 18 months. I've been at the club for 2 years. When I came in, it was in a very different position to what it is now. And credit to the owners, when they asked me to come in, they said they would want to do A, B, C, D, and I hope, can you make sure we get A, B, C, and D? And I've gone, right, it needs this, it needs this. And they've been very true to their word and invested so much so that the training ground has been transformed. The players that have been through the difficult patch see the transformation, really appreciative, and new players coming in because they've heard all the bad stories that went on before are suitably impressed. And what they're impressed with, the facility, the pitches, the support staff, the ambition, how we operate. We actually operate as a WSL club. And I guess simply because of my background and understanding high performance, I think I understand what is required in order to allow players and staff to develop and be the best they can be. So everything has completely shifted. We're in a really good position, but it doesn't stop there, because it's well documented. The owners want to build a new stadium, a stadium for the women, you know, the best pitches, the best facility that allows the club to grow, attract the best talent, and therefore end up being the best club in the country, essentially.
And all of that combined will help us achieve a long-term goal.
Yeah, which is the long-term goal is get promoted. That's the short-term bit. The long-term bit, WSL, get in the league, stay in the league, win the league, Champions League, and more importantly, do it all over again. So it's not we win it once, then that's it. I think it's a really long journey. The owners are very, very clear. Want to be the best club in the country, bar none. And for me, it's really exciting to be part of that.
And leading that journey on the pitch, Amy Merricks and her coaching staff, how have they been working alongside yourself?
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously, Amy assisted me at Brighton, so I'm fully aware of her capabilities and the talent she has. Obviously I was at Brighton for 5 years. She assisted me for 5 years. I really saw her potential for change. So when the opportunity came about that I was coming to Birmingham, she was actually an under-19 England coach. And it's really great to work with her, work with Ed Filmer, who's my recruitment lead. We have the same ideas about what good looks like, having worked together for so long. We're on the same page. My role is to support her. She's a young, new coach with huge potential. And my role is to support her on that journey in order to support the players to become the best they can be. And, she's done really well. She's got an absolute grasp of what she wants it to feel like, look like, and really demands a lot out of the players, which is exactly the way I would operate. And the support staff around that have been very good. We've got key people in place. But obviously Amy has to lead that on the pitch, and I think she does that with great maturity, great understanding, and delivers it very well. So, I'm very confident that the journey that we're going on is heading in the right direction.
We've also spoke about the new signings, but if we look at the other end of the spectrum in terms of our youngsters coming through, Poppy, Ebony signed their first pro contracts, Ria's been training with the first team. How important is it to feed into that pathway from academy into first team?
Yeah, I think everybody likes that homegrown talent story, and I think it's really important. We have an academy for a reason and a purpose. Is we want to, create those homegrown players that everybody's seen as a tiny tot that's come through our pathway, and for them to get a professional contract. So, Poppy, goalkeeper. They're very raw. They've got a lot of work to do, but what we've done is we've rewarded them with the work that they've put in. Now, I'm not foolish enough to sit here and go, we're going to get more players out of that academy. We know we've got work to do from recruitment, from upskilling the coaching staff, the staff. There's a lot of work to be done in there, but the foundations that we have laid now for players to actually develop there, I would argue, is a lot better than it was a few years ago, and that's no disrespect to anybody else. It's just that there's a bit more joined up thinking across the academy and the first team. You've got to remember we've got a lot of players in that academy, so there's a lot of work to do. But the importance of that homegrown talent, I love developing players. It's what coaches should be doing. Do your job right, you've got a chance of getting some real talent that comes through. Ebony's come through, Ria's here training, but we're not foolish enough to think, the work has been done. There's still a lot to do.
And just finally, on our young sides, our under-21s went on their first ever pre-season tour to Scotland. You went along with them.
I did.
Can you talk us through how those kind of 4 days were?
Yeah, I think it was really important. They've never been on a tour before. Our senior team, this is only their second pre-season tour abroad, by the way. So it's a very new thing for the women's part of the business. I've obviously done it years, and so this is a must-have. It's really important. And I think it really highlighted quite a few things for me. Where's the talent? Where's the next pool coming through? Do the players understand how challenging it is to be a full-time professional? So I think their eyes were opened a lot more. The demands of training, I actually put my boots back on and delivered a little bit. And the intensity that's required, I think they'll look at it now and go, okay, we need to do a bit more. So great bunch of girls, by the way, had a lot of fun, but we need to support them in a way that gives them the best chance to be a professional footballer if that's what they want to do.
Brilliant. Thanks again for joining us.
You're very welcome.